Although she quickly perfected her portrayal of the two divergent characters, off-screen, Elizabeth struggled to balance her dual roles as actress and mother. And she often found it difficult to spend as much time as she'd like with her children, William, Robert, and her daughter, Rebecca, who was born in 1969.
For us, it was just hard not having her around so much, working so much, but the time that she did make for us was such quality time. I mean, she would always come in and kiss us goodnight and tuck us in no matter how late it was, and on the weekends and time that she would be at home, was really nice time together.
She just had this kind of magical persona, and it was almost childlike, and she loved surprises, and she loved art, and she loved being creative at Christmas, and she loved all that. She loved to really come up with new things.
Elizabeth also expressed her creativity on the set. Between takes, she could be found drawing in one of her many sketchbooks or perusing the racing form. After 5 seasons, Bewitched was still riding high in the ratings as one of television's best-loved comedies.
Action. Camera. Lights. Extras.
Elizabeth Montgomery had gone from hard-working TV actress to one of television's most recognizable stars. But when lead actor Dick York began complaining of severe back pain, his co-workers became alarmed. His suffering became so intense that one day he had to be rushed off the set on a stretcher. It was clear that he could no longer continue working, and with York's departure, the fate of the series was uncertain. But a major cast change would not be the only upheaval in Elizabeth's life.
Darren Stevens. He's got the spirit. She's the spirit.
Mother!
Bewitched began its 6th season with a new Darren to play opposite Samantha. Producers cast Dick Sargent in the role, and he and Elizabeth quickly became close friends.
With Elizabeth Montgomery. Every week on ABC.
But by the early 1970s, audiences were beginning to crave more cutting-edge fare. And when ABC ran the show against the groundbreaking sitcom All in the Family, Bewitched took a dive in the ratings. And after 8 years, 254 episodes, and 5 Emmy nominations for Best Actress, Elizabeth Montgomery announced that she was ready for a change.
The show itself was not as strong as it had been, and that bothered her. And she just said, I don't want to do it anymore.
We were very sad, you know, because we had become a family, and we all truly liked each other, and we had fun together, and she was the reason for it.
In 1972, 39-year-old Elizabeth Montgomery pondered her next career move, while William Asher went on to direct more film and television. But after 8 years of working side by side on Bewitched, the new dynamics strained their relationship, and Elizabeth went to Europe for a much-needed respite.
The whole thing was my fault. I was going to work every morning, and she was doing nothing. And it got to her, and she finally just took off. I was angry that she had left, so I left.
In 1974, Elizabeth and William Asher decided to end their 11-year marriage. Because her parents' breakup had been so personally wrenching, Elizabeth tried to make her own divorce as painless and private as possible for her family.
She would never let people intrude, press, photographers. They all wanted some glimpse of her personal life, and as she said, it's called personal for a reason, no.
Ready to return to work and eager to put Samantha behind her, Elizabeth accepted a role in a gripping television drama. Entitled A Case of Rape, the story concerned a woman who was viciously attacked twice by the same man.
It was difficult for a lot of fans to watch Samantha get raped. You know, to see Samantha get beat. But it was important for Elizabeth to distance herself from Samantha.
The film broke new ground by depicting the ordeal of a middle-class housewife who tries to bring a rapist to justice.
All right, let's see your bruises.
The 2-hour drama became one of the highest-rated TV movies of all time.
That's a nice one.
Elizabeth's riveting performance garnered her a 7th Emmy nomination, and the satisfaction of knowing that she had increased public awareness of an important issue.
Okay, you can put your clothes back on now.
That same year, Elizabeth returned to lighter fare in Mrs. Sundance, a TV western about the widow of the Sundance Kid, co-starring Robert Foxworth.
She walked in the room and I was dazzled immediately. She absolutely stole my heart from the moment I looked at her.
During filming, romance blossomed between Elizabeth and the 32-year-old actor.
I have ridden up trail from you and down trail all day long. Nothing helps. Wash.
No.
No wash, no dinner.
First of all, I thought she was one of the funniest people I had ever met, and completely gracious and giving and kind.
Everything.
And easygoing and unaffected and unpretentious.
That'll do nicely, Mr. Maddox.
And as we hung out together and played together and had dinner together, I was more and more seduced and bewitched, if you will, by this wonderful woman.
After 3 divorces, Elizabeth was not eager to get married again, but she and Robert built a life together in her Beverly Hills home.
They became dear friends and lovers, and, you know, it was hard to separate them after that. These two people who were very strong, very heady, and they argued, and they had a wonderful time getting together again and making love and being happy and giggling.
Now content in her personal life, Elizabeth took on a role that would forever challenge her past image as a good-natured witch. In 1975, she portrayed the infamous axe murderess in The Legend of Lizzie Borden, turning in another powerful performance.
I never could abide small, dark places, even as a child. Emma knows that. She wanted me to have the big bedroom. Didn't you, Em?
Oh, we know all about you and your way, Princess Lizzie. We know how you twist arms and throw tantrums just to get your way.
If I were not a lady, I should twist your arm, Mrs. Borden, right out of its socket.
I will have no more of this.
I don't think anything thrilled her more than the idea that she had pulled off what no one thought she could do. And then to have people begin to really respond to her and respect her as an accomplished actress was probably one of her great victories in life.